Going live with you guys again. You see Mr. Echo back there chilling out. What are we going to talk about today? Well, I got a lot of comments about the last video we uploaded. If you haven't seen it, then you're going to want to watch it later. It's doing pretty good. It's getting a lot of comments, like I said, and a lot of views. And, you know, when you title a video like I titled that one, you know, the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in 4 years of being a nomad, then people really like to click on that. They want to see what happens. And for those of you who have seen my videos before, you probably predicted what that video was going to be about. And I am going to give it away in this video in case you haven't seen it, you know, spoiler alert. But yeah, it was a rattlesnake. Just kind of wanted you guys to see where we're camped right now. In the woods. Hey, Scotty P. Did you see the last video, Scotty P? Of us in the snake pit? I mean, it's literally a snake pit. I've been hiking nearby there with the dogs. And I'm tempted. I'm like, oh, I could go back there. And see if there's other snakes in there. But it's like so stupid. I don't want to end up getting bit or getting tangled up with a snake. Like, oh. But I'm convinced there's more than one snake down there in that pit. Hey, Chris James. Good to see you guys. Random Spirit. Good to see you. I forgot to put on my fancy shirt. My live stream shirt. Hey, Bet on Truth. So, did you guys all see the last video where I went into the snake pit? It freaked me out so much. I mean, could you tell in that video like how scared I was? And making a video like that where I'm just kind of freaking out is, you know, it's embarrassing, basically. And then I kind of got myself in that situation. The weird thing is it kind of, I don't know how well it comes across in the video, the actual pit. And, you know, if I wouldn't have run into that snake, I would have stayed there longer and got some good footage of the actual pit so you could get an idea of how big it was, like how wide it was across, but then how deep it was. It's actually really deep. I mean, it's at least 30 feet deep in some places. So I was like really trapped. And when that happens, like there's a snake right in front of you, then the first thing you want to do is just jump back. And I realized instantly, I was like, I can't jump back. I'm on this ledge. And I just had no idea that there would be snakes in there just because it was cold out. It wasn't even really particularly sunny around there because there's a lot of trees. So the sun kind of gets filtered through the trees. So I don't know if like the danger that I was feeling came across other than like you could see it in my face, but I don't know if you could really tell that it was a ledge that I was on. And so I couldn't step back. And I had to step the pathway back. I couldn't go anymore the way I came in because was too close to the snake at that point. So I kind of just had to stand where I was. Luckily the snake kind of went back into its little dwelling. But that, I mean, I was creeped out. It's embarrassing, you guys, to you know, admit when you're, I mean, you know, it's because it's YouTube, right? Like in person, like I don't mind admitting that I'm scared. So I just have to pretend like, oh, all these YouTube people, they're just like, if a friend was along, I would react the same way. And I'd say the same things that I shared with you guys. Hey, Christopher John. Hey, thanks for staying up. I'm going to give you guys a little sneak preview here. Oh, what's that? This is sort of symbolic of solving problems. And the problems we're going to talk about tonight are the scary situations that you run into as an RVer, nomad, camping. It's mostly, well, it's three things really. It's people, especially when you're traveling, you're going to run into all kinds of different people. And we like where we camp now, and kind of it's called boondocking. Like we kind of go off into the woods, off into the desert, and we supply everything supplied for ourselves. Where we supply everything ourselves. there's nobody around really to get help from. But the people that are out here, you don't really have much contact with them, so you kind of don't know who's out there. So when you're traveling to these different states and different areas of the country, it's kind of new. So the people that you run into, it's like, well, I don't know what kind of people these are really. You get a vibe, you definitely get a vibe, but what I'm saying is that you kind of don't know. So it's people, and then weather, which, oh man, I've been in some scary weather situations. Really, really scary weather situations. I mean, you're talking about like right now we're dealing with wind, which I'm not scared, but it's super windy. It's annoying. The wind kind of sucks. But in fact, one of the scariest situations I was ever in this trailer, in the same rig with the dogs, it had to do with the wind. And I mean, I was like trapped. We can get into that. Then the third thing is animals, right? I mean, there's dogs. People have dogs. So you guys that live in neighborhoods, that's pretty much all you're afraid of. Maybe like raccoons or something like that, or maybe like wild coyotes running around. But when you're in the woods and in the desert, when you're in the mountains, places that have different kinds of animals, then you're going to be dealing with the animals, and that a lot of times can present some really scary situations. The weird thing is when I go hiking, I mean, I've been backpacking a backpacker for years, and I never brought any protection. One thing I did start carrying as a backpacker was this little thing of pepper spray. This one's expired. I talk about this in a video coming up, so we'll get into this some more. The idea of pepper spray. It's pepper spray season. That's what I'm calling it. But I would backpack with this. So, I mean, when you're backpacking, you want something really small and lightweight. And I mean, this isn't going to do much against a bear, but at least it's something. It'll do something against people. You get it right in their eyes. So if somebody was messing with us, then I could spray this on their face and then make a getaway, basically. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Like I said, I'm going to talk about this more in some videos coming up. The pepper spray. Yeah, and actually pepper gel. This is pepper spray, but and I talk about this in the video that you'll see coming out. Water moccasins, yeah. But in the city, pepper spray generally is going to work okay because you're surrounded like by buildings and houses and stuff like that. So there's not as much of a wind issue. Like today, it's super windy. When you're out in the woods and the open desert, the wind can come from any direction at any time. So you need pepper gel, which it's the same stuff, it's the same ingredients, but it's in a gel form. So the wind doesn't affect it. It's heavier. It shoots through the air, and even if it's windy, it's not going to blow back in your face. So it's going to hit your target rather than create like a cloud. So that's what I really want. And in fact, a subscriber, sent me pepper gel. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm super excited about it. Because I think you guys sent me a small vial. I think it's a little bigger than this, but then also like the big bear spray size. It's like a little mini fire extinguisher kind of thing. So I'm kind of excited about using that, or at least having that. Now with the rattlesnake, I mean, there's not really a defense against rattlesnakes. So those are the three scary things that can happen. I mean, this goes for not just somebody that lives on the road like the dogs and I do, but anybody if you're camping or just exploring or out hiking out in the woods. I want to hear some of your guys' scary stories. So let me get into your comments here or questions. Let me know if you got any questions. Yeah, it was a pit. I mean, it was a sinkhole. That's what it looks like to me. Or it could have been like a sinkhole. There's no other way to describe it. And at least 30 feet deep in the deepest parts and really like rocky. And I was like looking down there, I was like, oh, looks like there could be a little cave. And so I thought, well, I probably shouldn't go in there with my dogs, but I could look and see if I could get in there. And then if I could, then I might leave the dogs back in the camper later and then go back in there. So I was going to go all the way down into this little pit, and it would have been fine. People are like, oh, you shouldn't go down in a pit like that. It could collapse. And I guess that's true, but you got to take some risks. Now, if I would have known there were rattlesnakes in there, I wouldn't go anywhere near it. And it sucks now because I do not even want to go hiking in that area anymore. When was it? Yesterday, Echo and I were hiking near kind of where the pit was. Not close to it, but probably about an eighth of a mile or 1/10 of a mile from it. Not that far. And we kind of stopped there to have water, take a little break. And I was thinking like, oh, I'm really close to the snake pit, which is stupid because there are snakes in that snake pit, obviously, but there's snakes all out here, and I had no idea. Hey, Linda Howell. I'm glad you guys saw that video. It's, as a YouTuber, like when something exciting happens and you capture it on video. In this case, like I didn't really capture that much except my reaction. Like the moment after it happened, I turned the camera on. Once I was safe, I was like, okay, now I can turn the camera on. I didn't want to screw with the camera while it was happening, while I was on the ledge. Because like literally, I was like, it's not safe. I almost did. Like I kind of started to reach in my pocket. But as a YouTuber, you think like, oh, this will be a video that people will really love. Because people love, the scary stuff. Anything that's dramatic. Christopher John says he dreamed of the snakes. Random Spirit says the Rubik's Cube is her nemesis. So, on the chat tonight, if you guys want to see me try to solve this, then I set a goal to get 10 super chats. So if we get 10 super chats tonight, I'm going to attempt to solve this on the live stream. And actually, you guys can pick, because I have a selection of Rubik's Cubes here. And I don't know. You might get surprised. I might get surprised. Scott says, I once picked up a black plastic pot by the rim, and when I looked inside, there was a rattler curled up inside. I know, there's so many places rattlesnakes can be. I mean, they can be anywhere. And it seems like if there's human junk left around, like a piece of metal or like you're saying, like a plastic pot, for some reason they like human shapes that are left behind. So anytime you see like a board out in the desert, like if you lift that thing up, I mean, there's not a bad chance. And you'll see me do it in some of my videos too. I'm thinking like, if I lift this up, there might be a rattler under there, and that would make a good video clip. Not, I'm not the kind of person that wants to mess around with rattlesnakes, but once I see it, then I feel safe because I can keep a distance and keep my dogs at a distance. So I do want to know if they're around, but I'm not like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to mess with the snakes. Like I don't want to touch them or get too close to them. My pepper spray is the size of a can of hairspray. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up having one of those soon. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hike with that because it's so big and bulky, but I'll keep it. I was thinking about keeping it in the trailer by the door. But then it's like, why would I need it at the door? I guess if there's some meth head out there, then what am I gonna do? Open the door and spray him in the face? I mean, I think I'd just leave the door closed. Like, why would I open the door to spray somebody that I think is bad? I guess what it could be is like, if I'm outside in camp, and I always say meth head because that's what you got to deal with is the druggies basically. I mean, there's people that are jerks, but it's usually the druggies that are going to give you the real problem as far as like being dangerous. I guess if I was outside in camp, then I would know there's a can of bear gel right here in the entryway, so I can just open the door, reach in and grab it, and then spray the guy in the face. I hope you have a decent handgun, bud. Well, I mean, you can rest assured that I have multiple methods of defense, but they're almost always in the trailer or in the truck. And that's why I'm talking about like pepper spray now, so I can hike with it. I want to have something that I can hike with. I don't even carry a knife. Like, I do have multiple pocket knives. I have big, stabby knives and things like that, but I don't hike with them. And a lot of times people just always have one in their pocket. But I consider that like a liability, as far as like, if I fall or if I reach in my pocket and it accidentally had flipped open, then I can get cut. I'm really worried about getting injured. So the truth is, like, I use this knife for cooking. It's got like cheese on it right now. And it's, I used to backpack with this knife, and it, folds up. But I don't, and it has a clip, so you can stick it in your pocket. And the funny thing is, all my pants that I wear, most of my pants are like tactical style pants, and they have a little section where it's extra. There's extra padding there for you to put your knife, so it doesn't like ruin your pants. But I never carry a knife on my pants. I don't usually run into stuff that freaks me out. I've run into lots of bears. I've run into mountain lion. I've seen coyotes. The bears have gotten close. The mountain lion got super, super close. But a knife isn't going to do anything against those things. The only thing that's going to do anything to defend yourself against, the creatures that I've run into that could have been a problem with a bear and mountain lion, is a big can of pepper spray. That's the only thing. I mean, a gun could help, but I think spray is better. Because once you get it in their eyes, they're gonna back off. They're not gonna be able to attack you. If you shoot an animal, I mean, you might just injure it and just piss it off. If you get the right shot, you could kill it basically instantly. So I think for me, and I kind of think for everybody, a big can of bear spray is really the answer. I don't know. What do you guys think? What I'm saying is, I think actually pepper spray, pepper gel kind of beats a gun. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a gun, but I think usage wise, I think pepper gel is better. My scariest story was my neighbor lady's husband. Yeah, people is the biggest concern. And then, so, I mean, pepper spray, pepper gel is even better, is even for defending yourself against people. Because once somebody gets that in their eyes, they can't do anything. It really incapacitates people. Bob Wells did a video where he was showing the difference between pepper spray and pepper gel, and he got some in his eyes, and you can see like it really affected him. Christopher John says, Anna is not happy about the snow in New Mexico. I haven't seen her last couple videos, but yeah, I know she got some snow. I don't think she got as much snow as we got, though. I mean, you guys saw our videos. Like, we got literally over a foot of snow. And that was, as far as like scary stories, in the Northwest, when it starts snowing, you start going. That's like my motto. When it starts snowing, you start going. Because when the snow starts coming in the Northwest, it's not going to stop. You're going to get snowed in. It's not like it's going to have time to melt. There's trees everywhere. So the sun's not even going to be able to have an opportunity to melt it. And it probably means that the start of the snow season is coming on. So I've been in the Northwest and like in Oregon and Washington, and when the snow starts coming down, I'm like, oh crap, I got to get out of here. And sometimes I'll just pack up my gear and just get out of there. Even if it's just starting to settle on the ground, I'm like, I got to go. Here, it's the end of the, it's not winter time for one thing. And so it's in Arizona. I was like, well, the sun's going to come out. So it'll be a matter of time and it'll melt. It only took a couple days and it was totally melted. Then we had the mud. You couldn't leave during the mud either because of traction. There's no way I could get the trailer out, and even getting the truck out. Even though the truck has 4x4, you probably couldn't do it in the mud. So it's not really scary, but the idea of like, oh, what if I cut myself? What if something happened to the dogs? Or what if I need, there's an emergency or something? Then I'm screwed. So then if you think about it like that, then it's scary. That's why I was saying in my in my snow videos that if I knew it was going to be that much snow, I wouldn't have camped there. But sometimes, the weather reports are not very accurate. I mean, it was off by 11 inches. Bet on Truth says they tried to outrun a huge oncoming dust devil. It puts you over the white line. Oh, while you're driving. Yeah, actually, yeah, I don't like to drive when it's windy. And I rarely will. Like if I know it's going to be a windy day, then I won't plan to drive that day. And right now, we're getting gusts of almost 50 miles an hour up here in the mountains. It's really wild. For the most part, the wind has been coming from that direction. So like along the length of the trailer. So it hasn't been rocking it too much, but I've been in this trailer and it'll be rocking and rocking, and you're stuck inside because it's miserable outside. And I actually got motion sickness inside from the wind before. I don't stabilize the trailer. I know a lot of you guys do. A lot of people that have campers, especially the bigger fifth wheels and stuff, they always stabilize them they got stabilizers that automatically come down. You put blocks down there, that kind of thing, or you stabilize the wheels. I don't do any of that with the trailer. So when I get wind, then I really tend to feel it in here. Do I have a walking stick? I do actually. I have the kind that you backpack with, like the metal aluminum poles that expand. And I should really start taking one. The thing is, I don't really need a walking stick. When I used to backpack, I'd have 40 pounds of gear on my back, and then to have at least one or two walking sticks with you, that really helps support the weight as you're hiking, so it helps save your knees and everything in your back. But now when I backpack, or when I hike, I just have a day pack on, which doesn't weigh anything, so I don't need a walking stick. Like I'm never out hiking saying, "Oh, I wish I had a walking stick," unless it's icy. Muddy. I did take a hike in the mud the other day, and that was really slippery. I was like, I should have a walking stick. And then, like I think you're suggesting too, is for snakes, to check for snakes around rocks. What I do is I stomp when I think like, oh, there might be a rattlesnake around there. Then I stomp on the ground and listen for a rattle. Hey, thanks for hitting the like button, you guys. We got 45 people in here and 24 people with thumbs up. It helps out the channel. If you guys want to see me solve this Rubik's Cube, then we got to get 10 super chats tonight. I set a goal, so you'll see that down there probably. And I will attempt to solve the Rubik's Cube for you. Pepper spray is a lot better. Yeah, I think pepper spray, pepper gel is better than a gun. Not that you shouldn't have a gun with you, but I think pepper spray is going to be your first resort, Besides, like, if there's just some dude that's like messing with you and you're like, well, I don't want to shoot this guy, but I definitely want to spray him in the freaking face. Then now you have that option, You have that option. You don't have to injure anybody. Christopher John says, on my show tomorrow, I will talk about the Arizona rattlesnakes and my trip to Vegas. Christopher, did you see some rattlesnakes? Hi, Jennifer from Kaiser, Oregon. Taser. I don't know about a taser. I mean, because you have to get close to the person. That's what I'm thinking in my head. It's like, you have to get close. It's not a bad idea. A stun gun baton. I mean, I need something that's versatile as well, because like I was saying, got different kinds of animals to deal with. and then people. So I think a stun gun is not going to do much against if a lion is attacking me. I don't think I'm going to be able to stun it. I don't think it would do anything. I don't think it would do anything to a bear. I mean, does it get through their fur? Obviously, with a person, yeah, if I'm struggling with a person, then I could reach in my pocket, pull out a stun gun. For a person, yeah, you could use a stun gun. But even then, it's like, okay, so now you stun the person. Then at some point, you got to release the trigger on your stun gun or whatever. Like it zaps them, and they back off. But then they can come back in and attack you. But with this pepper spray, if you get this stuff in their eyes, they're gonna stop attacking you. They will not be able to continue if you get it like in their eyes. And I think if you get it in their mouth and their nose and stuff like that, then they can't clean it off. It's going to affect them for minutes, and that's going to give you plenty of time to get away. A stun gun, it's like it stuns them for a second, but it doesn't last. It doesn't have a lasting effect. Unless maybe I'm wrong about that. Jeremy says tasers are good, but you don't want a big animal on you like that. Yeah. The gel is the all-around win for me. Spray carries in the wind, and that could suck. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like out here in nature, there's always some sort of wind. It's always blowing in some direction. Sometimes it's not that strong, but you have a 50-50 chance basically of that stuff getting blown back in your face. So the gel is really, that's how you counteract that. Stun gun, after 4 seconds, they're rendered helpless. That's what Go Diva review says. I've seen videos of bears hitting an electric fence and running off. Yeah, I could imagine, yeah, you could zap a bear and it's going to take off. But think about it, like if a bear's that close to you that you're going to zap it, then by that time you've already been bit or it's clawing at you. You want to prevent an animal getting that close to you. And that's what this is for. So a stun gun, I mean, you could have a stun gun and this. So you spray this and it's still coming at you. Like say this doesn't work or you miss its face or something and it's still coming at you. Then you pull out your stun gun and you zap the mountain lion. Did I ever have to struggle with a person while boondocking? No, I didn't. There's been a couple times where I did run into a couple sketchy situations, and I realized afterwards, I was like, you know, that guy could have just grabbed me, or he could have pulled out a weapon. And you kind of realize how vulnerable you are. And I think just having this, you know, a big one, you know, I'm using this as an example. This is probably not going to keep you very safe, but at least it's something. But just having some pepper gel, I would have felt so much safer in those situations. But I know I never met anybody that was threatening me. Not in this lifestyle. In the city, yeah, I've definitely been more scared by people in the city for sure. Go Diva says, I worked in a jail. The longer you stick that stun gun, the longer you are crippling. Oh, so you're just standing there like zapping the person. So you got to have a fair amount of power in your stun gun, I would imagine. Like a big battery that would last a while. Oh, that's a good point. If you try to spray somebody in your rig, that's probably not a good idea. Probably even with the gel, you wouldn't want to spray somebody in here. You got to do it outside where you can like get away from the effects of it. That's a good point, actually. I mean, I would still have it inside in the trailer. That might be a better case for a stun gun. It's complicated. You don't want to like overburden yourself with like, gear. I got a knife, I got spray, I got a gun, I got a stun gun, I got a walking stick. It's like, I mean, it's like I'm not a ninja, you know? You kind of just want your one-stop shop solution. And the truth is, when I'm out hiking, like I said, I run into animals and stuff, but I've yet to be in a situation where I thought I needed something. And if that would have happened to me by now, then I'd probably be packing all kinds of stuff. I've just been lucky. And you guys have seen me in my videos. Like when I go hiking in these places, like I go to places where there's not usually trails or paths. Like I kind of seek out, places that maybe other people haven't really seen before. So the opportunities for me to run into stuff is kind of high, which I like. I'm out here because I want to see those things. I want to see bears. I actually want to see mountain lions in some sense, right? I feel lucky when I encounter that kind of stuff from a distance. Like I feel really grateful. And if I see another mountain lion, like of course I'll get freaked out, but that kind of thing would not make me stop hiking. Just like the rattlesnakes, it's like I'm constantly becoming more and more cautious with rattlesnakes. Like as far as like accidentally running into them and stuff like that. But those aren't the things that would make me stop adventuring. Those are the reasons why I adventure. And I'm just being honest when I say like they scare me or there's a danger and that I have to prevent accidents from occurring. But the biggest way to stay safe is to just stay in your little safe zone and not explore and not encounter these things. And that's not the kind of life I want. Like I want to experience, in my case, like I want to experience nature. I want to see what's out there. And that includes all the creepy crawlies and scary things that happen, trees falling, getting getting covered in snow so you can't leave, getting stuck in the mud. It includes bears and things like that scare you that maybe aren't as dangerous, like maybe an elk comes by. A couple deer almost ran me and Echo over one time. They were running around a corner on a trail and they didn't see us. And they came really close, like right next to us. I could have reached out and touched them. And I mean, they could attack you, but these ones, like, they were just going to kind of accidentally run over us. That stuff happens, but that's why I'm out here, is because I want to experience what the outdoors has to offer. And it comes with a lot of, scary things. Jeremy says gel works decent inside. That's really good to know. My favorite camp place is I don't really run into bears, but I usually see a mountain lion or two in the clear cut slash piles. That is what scares me more than two-legged things. You usually see a mountain lion or two. I've talked about my mountain lion experience before in the live stream. And when things like that happen, they're really rare. And you do not forget. And this mountain lion was full grown. It was humongous. I was with a friend. And two fawns jumped over my head. I was like wading in a little river, a little creek, kind of under this little embankment that was like 5 feet up, and two fawns jumped over my head into the river to get away from. I was like, what are they running from? I hope it's a hunter. But it wasn't. Well, it was, but it was nature's hunter. It was a full-grown mountain lion on the other side. So it wasn't that far away. It was like, I don't know, 50 feet. 100 feet. It was probably 100 feet away across the creek. And I was like, that thing could run across this creek in seconds and tackle me. But why would it want to? Well, it's like, because it's in hunting mode right now. It's literally chasing its prey, and it's run into me and my friend. But it just kind of looked, and it kind of was doing its stalking motion not at me, but it looked at me, saw me, its tail was up. I'm always, when Echo and I were hiking yesterday, I was like, kind of like Jeremy was saying, like there's clearings, and it's like, well, if I'm gonna see a mountain lion, it's probably gonna be in a clearing because they're really good at hiding, and so if it's kind of out in the open or on the edges of a clearing, you're more likely to see it. And so you just feel that way. You're like, I could totally picture a mountain lion just kind of walking around the edge of this tree line. TY Man says, just get out and hike with as little as possible. I always take a first aid kit and a little bit of survival kit, and I try to bring enough water, and I usually have a few snacks, things like that. I have a battery pack for my phone, flashlight, small pocket knife, things like that in my day pack. Hey, our adventures, what's up? You can use brake clean for cleaning. Get that in your eyes. It's just as good as pepper spray. I mean, that might break. If you spray brake clean on somebody, though, that might, like, I feel like that could eat away at their eyeballs. Like, that could be really bad. I mean, that's like a life or death situation. It's people, not animals. People are the most horrible creature on earth. They are the danger. Well, yeah, some people are. And I would say it's the druggies, right? Like the weirdos. I mean, you can run into assholes, but for someone to like want to like hurt you physically, then it's probably going to be somebody that's messed up on something or wants to get messed up on something. They want to steal your shit. When boondocking at LTVA areas, what do people do with trailers and belongings when they have to go into town or exploring? Paris, that's a really good question. And I do it here when I'm boondocking. I'm not in an LTVA area, so there's no permit needed here. We're in the national forest, and you just kind of feel it out. And it's like, well, there's one guy that's camped over there. He's the closest person. So when I leave, he probably knows that I leave my trailer here. But what are the chances that that's going to be the guy that's going to want to steal my shit while I'm gone? It's like pretty unlikely. If there was some weird stuff going on over there, then I'd be more sketched out about it. But and you can see like who comes in and out, like what kind of people are out here. It's mostly, I don't get a weird vibe from the people that I've seen out here at all. So I leave my trailer here. I go into town for a couple hours, get my supplies, and then come back. So I'll leave it unattended basically for a few hours, 2 or 3 hours. Now in the LTVA area, you need a permit there. There's tons of people around, and so if you make friends with your neighbors, then that's going to make you feel safer. But where I camp in Quartzsite, I don't have any problem leaving my rig behind. There's so many rigs out there. If someone wants to steal, then that's fine. They can steal a couple things of mine. I mean, I just have camping gear basically. But yeah, it is a risk. But honestly, in Quartzsite, I don't worry about it. I camp in areas where I feel like the people around me are not freaks. You know what I mean? I also have a crossbow, but I don't know how to use it. That's what Godiva said. Have you had any encounters with scorpions? This is from Digger Doc. And do you have a UV light to see them at night? I do. Actually, somebody sent me One of our subscribers sent us a couple UV lights, and I've used it a few times in quartzite. I never found any scorpions with the light, but there is a video on YouTube. I think it's called "I Need to Leave Quartzite," and in that video, you'll see me find a big scorpion right where Dodger was laying under the trailer. And now scorpions aren't deadly, but I mean they'll sting you, and it apparently it hurts really bad. Hello, Rosemary. I think I love stun guns. Yeah, I think so. See, I got I'm letting you guys in on a little secret here. This is my mini Rubik's Cube. This is perfect for campers, like especially if you live in a van or something. This would be perfect, and this will kill some time. Then I have a few different kinds. I mean, I have quite a collection actually. These are called 2x2 by 2s. And then, I'm not going to show you my whole collection. These are just the 2 Rubik's Cube style ones that I brought out. I mean, you can really kill some time. So, the kids, they can solve these in like seconds. Like the world record is under 3 seconds to go. They just go like that, and it's solved. It's crazy. Which direction am I heading next? Oh, I'm going to stay around Flagstaff area. Like Flagstaff, Williams, that kind of area for a while. The weather is so good. And the weather is like the biggest factor for me for where I want to camp and how long I want to camp somewhere. And then it's like, am I bored of the place? This place where I'm at now has a lot of trails. And Mr. Echo's tired right now. He's really tired. Because we went out yesterday for, I think it was like 3 miles. And then the day before that, we did 5 miles. Today, the dogs and I, we only did maybe a mile. Well, I took Dodger too. So when I start getting bored of a place, then I kind of move around. But I want to go to, I want to go to Flagstaff. Last year, I went to some places in Flagstaff that I hadn't been. And I don't think I'm going to go to those places this year. I'm going to try and find a couple new places around Flagstaff area. I really like Flagstaff area just because of the weather. And it's still dry because it's still the desert. I really like Flagstaff. I just got done moving out of my apartment. Matt AK, my trailer adventure starts in a few weeks. Dude, that's awesome. Matt, I was watching this guy today. Oh, I don't know his YouTube channel. Shoot. Oh man, something Phoenix. And it's not a camper. He took all of his money out of the bank, bought a sailboat, and he's now in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. He left Oregon for Hawaii. And I've seen a couple other guys do that before. You know, they get this thing in their head. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a sailboat and go." And it's like good luck, man. Good luck. There's some good stories. I have a book in the trailer. It's kind of like Castaway, like that movie, but it's a true story of this guy. Adrift. I think it's called Adrift. Is that the name of that book? Yeah, it's probably the same guy. He says Matt says he's seen him on Instagram. Chris says, "Oh, I've been following that guy. He has something Phoenix. Is it like Maritime Phoenix or something?" So it's just cool. Like, so I'm really happy for you, Matt, that you're gonna start your adventure. And I mean, if you watch that guy going out in the middle of the ocean, it's like I was feeling kind of embarrassed because I'm like, sometimes I get kind of scared doing our adventure, you know, in the middle of nowhere. But it's like, whoa, we're on solid land. It's like if if something happens to the rig, it's like we're still safe. But if you're out in the middle of the ocean and something happens to your boat, I mean, you're screwed. There's sharks, and it's like you're screwed. So this is the lifestyle that that Matt's gonna attempt here is like it's much safer than than a sailboat. Talk about scary. I watched Jaws the other night. I mean, I've seen it before, but I've seen Jaws many times. Our adventure says I want to go to Quartzsite this fall for the first time. Where do you recommend camping that isn't around a lot of people? Well, when you get there, you got to decide like, are you going to be there for months, and then you get the seasonal pass, or are you just going to be there for a few weeks? Either way, you're going to be around other people compared to like where I am now. There's nobody around. I can't see anybody. But in Quartzsite, no matter where you camp, you're going to see other rigs. There's thousands of people out there camped. Um, if you are close to the entrances of any of the camping areas, whether they're the free ones or the permit ones, if you camp close to the entrances, you could be really close to other people. You know, not like 20 feet, but like you could be 40 feet from your neighbor. And you kind of don't know. Someone could come in the middle of the night, camp kind of right next to you, especially if you're near the entrances to these areas. So the further you get away from the entrances, you drive into the entrance, then just keep driving out as far as you can. You'll see it starts to get more sparsely populated. And then you can pick a spot, and generally those areas are going to fill in slower. So you'll have time to kind of see like, oh, it's kind of encroaching. And then you might move out further, you might find a different area. So that's the main tip is just go to the entrances and then drive out as far as you can from the entrance. And it'll be less populated out there. It's totally worth it, and don't be afraid of being near other people. If there are some people that party and have loud music, and so you might need to move because of that. And you might need to move if somebody has a loud generator, but most people in Quartzsite don't use generators that often. Um, so those are the two reasons why neighbors would be a problem for your camping experience. But you're not, when you go to Quartzsite, you're not really going to Quartzsite to to get that like isolated feeling. You're not really gonna get that so much, unless it's like early in the season or later in the season. Then it will start to empty out. You should go our adventures. You'll have a good time. People hate Quartzsite though too. I mean, watch some of my videos. I have a whole playlist about Quartzsite and about all the pluses and minuses. I dig it, and it's kind of not my thing because I like being alone. I like being isolated, like we are right now. Like there's nobody around, and I love that feeling. Like it's just my apartment in the woods. I go out here and I look around. There's nothing, no light except the little light inside my trailer, and it's like, oh, I love it. I'm just surrounded by the woods and the wind and the sounds and nature. There's elk walking around. But when you go to Quartzsite, you go outside and there's people out there, and there'll be campfires and noise. You know, there'll be parties and stuff like that. But I dig it. Like for some reason, it doesn't bother me. Chris says he thinks he's following that guy, the sailboat guy. Godiva's got some. Godiva is an ex jail guard. It sounds like, and I don't know if Godiva's a she, but it sounds like she has some ideas for for keeping safe. This will be my 7th time making the drive to Alaska, Matt says. Dang. I was talking to somebody about going to Alaska. I mean, that would make a crazy series of videos if I went to Alaska. Talk about scary. I mean, they got grizzly bears up there. I think they call them brown bears, but I mean, they're grizzly bears. They're the huge ass bears that eat people. And moose. Digger Doc has the same book. I think it's called Adrift. I have it here in the trailer. And then if you watch, there's a show called, I think it's called I Shouldn't Be Alive. And I think this episode was on, I think it's on YouTube. And it's the story from the book. It's actually really well done. I want to watch it tonight again. I think it's from that show. I Shouldn't Be Alive. And it's about a guy on a sailboat, and his sailboat collapses. Part of it, no. Oh yeah, I think it sinks, and then he has to live on this inflatable life raft for like, I think a month and a half or something like that. Yeah, you got to watch that. I think it's an I Shouldn't Be Alive episode. And the acting in it is really good. What do you recommend for internet? It sounds like Paris is thinking about getting out or just starting to kind of get on the road. What do you recommend for internet? Well, people use Starlink. I want to kind of get the Starlink at some point, but I just use my cell phone. Um, and I usually, when I'm camped, I usually have a pretty good signal. Not always, but always. Usually, I have some sort of usable signal. Like where I am right now, you can probably tell the signal's really good. So I'm just using my cell phone, and that's how I get the internet. Um, I don't have I don't have a way to alert somebody of my location. I use my cell phone for tracking, and Echo has the GPS tracker on his collar, and I use that to track. I talk about that in a video that's coming up. I think the second video coming up. I'm going to release a video tomorrow, and then a couple days after that, I'll talk about how I use his tracker when I'm hiking. But I don't have any emergency thing. It's basically just my phone. But cell coverage is so amazing now. Like I said, I was hiking. We did 5 miles out into the woods. I guess it was 2.5 miles out into the woods. I mean, out into an area I'd never been before. It was like rolling hills, and I was like, I wanted to keep going and keep going, but I had to hike back. But my cell phone worked out there. So that's what I would use in an emergency. Jeremy's talking about my water containers. I saw your water containers you use and found stainless steel jerry cans for water. They're spendy, so I'm wondering if I should stick with the blue ones. I was just using my blue jugs today. They're 6 gallon igloo containers, and they have different kinds. They have some that are cube shaped. I don't know if it's an igloo brand, but I've seen people use those, and I think those are smaller, like maybe 4 or 5 gallons. Those are probably easier to manage, and they probably stack really well. Um, but my system with those big 6 gallon jugs, I got it working really well, so I like using those. They are heavy though when they're full. They don't. I don't have any problems with them wearing out, except in one of my videos I showed one of the screw caps. I kind of do them too tight. I don't think I need to do them as tight as I do them sometimes, and it was starting to crack. So at some point that thing will probably split, and then you have to get a new cap. But my blue jugs I've had for 4 years, and I don't have any other issues with them. They work really good. I should clean them out more, like with bleach water. Last time I probably did that was probably 2 years ago. All right, if you guys have any last minute questions, let me know. It's fun chatting with you guys. Like, I'm just here in the woods. You know what's weird is when I end this live stream, then it's like so quiet because all I hear right now is just my voice. It's kind of annoying. Like, I wish you guys could join in and talk. I'm sure at some point in the future, YouTube will have that kind of system. They do have a way you can do a live chat with one other person, but it has to be in vertical format. I don't know why, but it has to be vertical. Because that would be cool. I could do a live stream with another nomad, and you guys could watch us talk to each other. But you'd have to watch it in vertical. And I know a lot of you are watching on a TV right now. And you would hate watching in vertical. Yeah, they call them Kodiak bears, brown bears, grizzly bears. Around here, I mean, for most of the U.S., it's black bears. I think in Montana they have grizzly bears. But black bears and grizzly bears are totally different. It's like mountain lions. I always love talking about mountain lions because they call them different things in different places. They call them panthers, pumas, cougars, mountain lions, and catamounts. I think that's all of them. There's 5 different names that I know for mountain lions. Yeah, Godiva. I think yeah, if you comment on my videos a lot, then you will get like little badges and stuff like that. Oh, can you see him back there dreaming? Could you hear him? I could hear him. I didn't even think about. Oh, you guys could probably hear him too. So a few of you guys are on our Patreon page, and I like the Patreon because if you like our live streams, you might like the Patreon because you'll see me. I upload. I can only upload 10-minute long videos up there, so a lot of times they'll be like 5 or 8 minute long videos, and it's mostly just kind of like what we're doing right now. It's just me talking to you guys, telling you about my day, like what's been going on, and so it's fun to have. It's kind of like a little secret hideout. And the Patreon members there, they sign up. It's like $5 a month. And the cool thing about Patreon is that that I get to keep most of that $5. Patreon only takes like 10%. So YouTube has a membership thing, which a lot of YouTubers use, but YouTube takes a big chunk of that money when people sign up. Debbie's camping by Mount St. Helens now. And it's so cold. My dogs and I are just in the rig watching a live on YouTube. Debbie, that's awesome. Where are you, Debbie? Where are you camped? If you don't mind, are you at? Actually, the only place I know around Mount St. Helens to camp, which I think I told you guys about in the last live stream, is I think it's called Seaview Campground State Park. Is that where you are? Debbie is one of our Patreon members. And Chris is too. Check out Restream. You can have guests. Well, Purple Dragon, where am I going next? I think this year, Dodger's really slowing down. And, I mean, he just did I think we hiked 3 miles the other day. And I gave him a break the last couple days, although today we did a mile. But I think this year it's for me, and Echo is EKO. That's how you spell Echo's name. If you care. I don't care how you spell it. But if you're wondering, someone was wondering. So Dodger's slowing down. This year for me is about hiking. And hiking with Echo. Learning to hike with just Echo. I still take Dodger out, but when I want to really hike, then I pretty much have to go with Echo. So as far as where I'm going next, I think for me this year, it's more about finding a place I really like and then staying there as long as I can and just hiking a lot and just enjoying myself. Rather than seeing all the sites and hitting all these places and moving from campsite to campsite or state to state. And once you're doing this for years, it's not so much about I can just travel 20 miles and find something that I'm in awe of. And you guys might say well, it looks just the same. But to me, it's no, it's different because I'm living there. I'm spending time there, getting to know that area. So it might just be something simple oh, the trees are bigger here, or there's more grass here, or it's oh, there's rocky cliffs in this area that aren't majestic or anything, but it's different terrain. So it's different for me it feels different experientially, but also when I'm hiking around there, I'm oh, I'm seeing new things. And it's all these mysteries, and I just love that. So you don't have to travel far or even to another state to find things that excite you if you're someone like me. So I don't really have plans on I want to go to this place or that place. There are places in Nevada that I kind of want to go. So maybe when I come down from the north, next season, then I might do some really new kind of stuff in Nevada. And Paris is heading out of Montana in October. Montana is kind of on my list. Montana and Wyoming. I haven't camped there yet. And when I was a kid, I did. Thanks for subscribing, Our Adventures. That's awesome. If you guys, I'm sure you guys are all subscribed. I don't need to ask you to subscribe. Being a YouTuber is weird because you got to remember those things hey, tell people to hit the like button. Remind people to subscribe, because if you don't, then people won't. Mark of the Grizzlies. I read a couple books about Timothy Treadwell, the guy from Grizzly Man, that movie. I think he wrote a book that I read. I might run into Larry. His channel is Work Less, Enjoy Life More. Oh yeah, I've seen his channel. He's in Williams. Yeah, there's always YouTubers around. I don't really run into him in Quartzsite. I'll run into him a little bit more. Fate Unbound. The last video I watched, he was somewhere in the same national forest that I'm at. I don't know where he is, but he's in the Coconinos. Echo is he economical? Yeah, yeah. I have pet insurance, so that costs some money. He doesn't pig out on food. He cleans my bowls if I need him to. That helps. He's environmentally friendly. There was a big crow, and it was just sitting out here on the ground, like doing its thing. And crows are they're kind of annoying or whatever. I like crows, but their crows are tough. Like they don't give a crap. So I told Echo, I was like, Echo, you go get that crow. And he got so excited because I never tell him to chase stuff. But he did. He went right after it. And the crow was just kind of standing there. And I was like, oh, what if that's an injured crow and he gets to it? Is he going to like tear it apart? But then, of course, the crow is just like such a you know, an a-hole, basically. It sits there till the last second. And then it's like, oh, yeah, it flies up into a tree right above Echo. Crows are smart. I'm camping in the yard. That's awesome. I used to do that. I used to do that. I'd get the itch sometimes to go camping, but I couldn't, because of work, or it was usually because of work kind of thing. And yeah, you camp in the yard. It's like you get your some of your camping fix out that way. Well, maybe next time I'll do the goal on here to do a cooking video, because Go Diva's talking about a cook. She wants a cooking video. And I can set the goal on here, so if I get super chats, then I'll do a cooking video. Because I know you guys want a cooking video. A lot of people do anyways. They want to see what I cook. To me, it's just not that interesting, I like to eat, but it's not that exciting when I make. But I know it could be interesting content-wise. But I like to show, like, stuff that I'm doing. And usually that involves, like, fixing stuff or maintenance on the rigs, and then hiking and exploring and what's happening around, rather than like, oh, what I'm cooking. Debbie says she's about 45 miles from Mount St. Helens. The weird thing about Mount St. Helens is the top of it blew off a while ago, so you can't see much of it. How do I deal with barking? Banking. With banking? Adam, it's like boring. I don't It's too boring for me to talk about. But I mean, I'll just say this: like, the phone is amazing. You can do pretty much anything on the phone. I do have a laptop, but it's so easy to just do everything on the phone. I do everything on the phone. So if you guys come to Quartzsite next year, then at some point we'll be able to meet up in Quartzsite. If you guys go to Quartzsite next year, then that would be cool. You guys can meet the dogs. Digger Dog had a pet crow named Joe. Yeah, crows are cool. I mean, I like all animals. I dig them. Wild animals. See you later, Terry. Cottywomple. I don't understand the fascination with camping on a city street. Yeah, I mean, talk about hardcore camping. I mean, like, yeah. That's a good point, Cottywomple. There's so many people that, they're not really camping. They're shooting up who knows what into their arms and smoking crack and stuff like that in their tents. So it's because they're in a tent that we call it camping. They might even have like a little stove in there. They're cooking up their top ramen or whatever. But those people, they are, in a sense, more brave than like what I'm doing. Like I'm in the woods all alone. It's really pretty safe. But you want to live in a tent on the streets? You got to be crazy. And that's the thing. Those people are, they're 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 rotting their brains with chemicals, and that's why they're able to do that, because they've lost all sense of rationality. And I'm not talking bad about those people. Like I'm not saying that. I don't know. It's like, people have problems and stuff like that, but that's the reality of it. Is they're destroying their brains, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna live in a tent on the street, and that's dangerous. So dangerous. Random Spirit, I'm really glad you're in here. There's a few of you guys that aren't on our Patreon, and it's totally cool. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't on our Patreon, but I wish that Patreon had a setup so I could give people like free memberships on the Patreon, because I can chat with people in there one on one. But they don't have that. They don't have that service. So just so you know, there's people that I see in here a lot that aren't on our Patreon, and I would love to give you guys like free access to our Patreon, so you can see all of our regular updates and stuff like that. The good thing is, the YouTube channel is where I put all the good stuff. It's where I edit stuff, try to make like concise videos, kind of make them fun and keep them interesting. If you go on our Patreon, then you're gonna see like really raw stuff that's might be boring. Some of it's cool. There's behind the scenes stuff, extra footage. But it's cool because I can chat with people in there one on one. If they want to. What do blue wrenches mean by someone's name on the chat? Yeah, I've had to learn all this stuff too, Paris, about YouTube. There's so much to learn when you're doing YouTube. The blue wrench that is by somebody's name, that means they're a moderator. So I'm not sure exactly what they can do, but the main thing is like if somebody gets in here and starts like being a jerk, which we haven't had happen yet, then they can kick them out, that kind of thing. They can ban people. So I don't have to mess around with that. Debbie's one, Random Spirits one, Chris is one. There's a few people that are moderators. But I think they can also send me questions that you guys have. At some point, I'm sure the people that are moderators will mess around with their capabilities. But I like having the moderators in here just in case you get someone in here that's a jerk, because that's like your biggest fear as a YouTuber is like someone gets in here and starts spamming or saying a bunch of crap that nobody wants to read in the chat. Well, the Patreon it's $5 a month, but you can cancel. You can just sign up for a month, or I think you'd have to cancel it, which people do that too sometimes. Like all the time, people will go into Patreon, pay $5, watch all of our videos and stuff in there, and then cancel, and then they can join back later, 6 months later, and watch all the stuff that they missed. It's really just a way to like help support the channel, the $5. So you don't have to pay it every month, if you don't want to. You'd have to cancel your membership, and then you can sign back up again later if you wanted to. There are free memberships on there because some of the videos I make free. Every once in a while I make videos free in there. So the free membership people on Patreon, can watch those. Okay, good night, you guys. Do I have children? No, I don't. I just have my dogs. Got my dogs. Kathleen, I'm glad to see you here. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for all your questions. That was fun talking. It's like I said, it's weird when I turn this off because then it's like super quiet. Good night, random spirit. And I'll just hear echo snoring. Dodger will probably get up. He'll be like, "All right, you can give me a treat and let me out now. Now that you're done with your stupid live stream." I got a weirdo near my camp, so I may not sleep. Ah, you'll sleep fine. Good night, Cotty Wample. Good night, Chris James. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for being a subscriber to the channel.